Good evening. Yes, Jason. Okay, we can just start. Immediately because time is not on our side. Today's session is going to be a short one because Maxwell had already had another session concerning the same. So we'll just go through the tasks. First of all, we're going to go through the learning objective, general, copyright, everybody knows about that, and then the requirements, and then we'll start from task 0. Maybe we'll do one, and maybe if time allows, and then we can do the second one also. So at the end of this project, you're expected to explain to anyone without the help of Google. So general, you must be able to do a diagram covering the web stack. The web stack you build with the system admin DevOps track project. You must be able to explain what each component is doing, so especially this one. So you must be able to draw a diagram, you must be able to explain what each component is doing. So yesterday we discussed about the components. You must be able to explain system redundancy. So because everybody went through the resources, somebody is going to tell us what system redundancy is. And then you must also know all the mentioned acronyms. So you must know what LAMP is, SPOF is, and then QPS is in full. So somebody will also help us with that. About copyright, say much about that one. And then now general. As usual, a readme is always compulsory. And then for each task, once you're done, just whiteboard. The project will be manually reviewed. So maybe after we are done with this, you can just share your links and then we'll review each other. And then you should upload a screenshot of the completed level to any image hosting services. I also used Imgur, but then in case you are not happy with Imgur, you can use another hosting service you want. But then personally, I think Imgur is the easiest to use, so we'll just use Imgur for this. But then in case you have another one, you tell us. And then after pushing your answer to GitHub, insert the GitHub link. So insert the GitHub link file into the URL box. So after pushing your answer file to GitHub, insert the GitHub file into So you also have to whiteboard. Focus on what you're being asked. You should not do anything that you're not asked. I will not go this one. Those are enough. So task 0, simple web stack. So a lot of websites are powered by simple web infrastructure. A lot of time is composed of a single server with a LAMP stack. So first remove so that it doesn't hang. So remove this one. We just remain with this two. So everybody welcome. So first thing first, you're supposed to know what system redundancy is. So what system redundancy? This system redundancy. Yesterday we didn't talk about this one, but then while I was doing the tasks today, I noticed that that's really important. And then you're also supposed to know what LAMP is, and then you also to know what SPOF is. And then lastly, I think supposed to also know what QPS, and then also QPS is. I think these are the only things we didn't talk about yesterday that I found they were really important. And then also Imgur, but then we'll talk about Imgur while we are starting the task here. So I think that's it. So for the requirements, you must use one server, one web server, one application server in your drawing. So your drawings must contain this. So one server, one web server, one application server, one application, one code base. So this application files, you can just say it's your code base. One database, and then one domain name, which is foodbar.com, configured with a www. So you must also know what this www.foodbar footbar.com is. So you must know which type of record this one is, and then you must be able to explain everything. So everything you do here up to here, you must be able to explain it. So in this file here, simple web stack, so you're supposed to now explain everything here. So there's something here. Okay, for the following task, insert the link of your screenshot into the answer file. Okay, after pushing your answer file to GitHub, insert the GitHub link into the URL box. Okay, I think I was supposed to put this into this URL into there, but then okay, do that in a minute. So first thing first, so lamp starts for Linux. Let me just do this quickly because of time. Apache. So Apache is a web server, and then MySQL, we talked about this yesterday, and then finally, so this one is a programming language, so it can either be PHP, or maybe Python, that is usually used for web development. Yeah, and then also SPOF, so SPOF, what's to also know about that. So S stands for, let me just mention a name. Okay, let me see. Okay, James, help us with that. So what does S stand for before S? Maybe I can do this quickly. So this one is single point of failure. In a minute you're going to see what's the importance of knowing all of this. So just and then lastly QPS. So QPS, so it's query per second. So it's query per second. Just say per second here. Okay, per second. I think that's that. So what else? Maybe we have left something here. No, I think that's that. Nothing else we have left. We have not left anything out. So in our requirements here, you must use one server, one web server, one application server, all of this. So also you're supposed to start with the user. Yeah, so start your explanation by having a user wanting to access your website. So this is where you start. If you don't start with this, I bet some marks are going to be reduced. So first thing first, let me just use a new page so that we'll see that. Sorry. So first thing first here, we'll start with the user. So let me just use this. So just see, why is it not working? Delete. So first thing first, we'll start with the user. So this will be our user, and then now there must be one server, one web server, one application server, one code base, one database, and then a domain name. Okay, since this is a PLD, I won't do all the talking. I'll just start with this first one. So here it's supposed to be a user. So user. So just put the user here inside, and then somebody will help us with the second part. Okay, so after a user, so while you're working with your browser, so while now, for example, now we are here, so maybe I want to go to, let me see where I want to go to. I want to type to www dot maybe yeah, let me www, let me say python this one. Okay, as you can see, so I've typed www.org. Just move this. So I've typed this and then I've been brought to where I want. So I've accessed this website using this use domain name here. So since I'm the user now, so in order to access this, the first thing first, there must be a user. So in order for a user now to access the websites, there should be another process here before getting to the actual server, to the actual place where the actual place where now the website is located, or maybe the server is. There's some other steps here that we need to follow one by one before getting there. So I want someone to help me with that. Let me just mention a name. I won't do all the talking. So Buchi, help me with that. So while you are doing your task, so after the user, what's the next thing? What's the next thing you think? What's the next process after the user in order for one to access our website? Because here, as you can see, you must use our server, one web server, an application server, all of this. So after now the user, what's the next thing? Help us with that, Gucci. Okay, let me mention another name because of time. Okay, Lupamo. Okay, Lupamo, help us with that. So while you're doing this, so after the user, what's the next thing? What's the next process you think it's best, or maybe you decided to do? So after the user, or maybe I'm muted. Oh no, I'm not muted. So Lupamo, help us with that. So after the user,
Can you repeat again? What do you mean?
okay, personally, okay, have you already started doing this project?
No, I haven't.
Okay, for this project you're supposed to design images, maybe photo, you can say processes. The normal way, like maybe for a person, so after the act, after 9 months, so after 9 months there's some processes that happens. Maybe the head starts growing, then the arms, then finally maybe the child has grown, and then finally he's given birth. So now this is the same thing here we are trying to do. That's the same thing ALX wants us to do. So ALX wants us to more like say, so whenever a user wants to access a certain website, these are the certain processes that go on. For a user, he won't know that, but then because we are the ones who are developing the websites, we are supposed to know about that. So after user, a typical way. So that's why I was saying, let me remove this so that you can maybe can show it again. So maybe I want to access Python documentation. So I'll just come here and type maybe, okay, maybe I just say Python documentation, but then I don't want to use that. I want to use www.python documentation. Python, yeah, because Python, yeah, let me just save this. Okay, as you can see, I've used this, you can see URL, so that I can I've come here to where the Python documentation is. So now what I want here, I want to know, so after now there's a user. So because every process starts from the user, because the user is the one who wants to access the website. So after a user, what's next? Okay, let me see, somebody, HTTP response or HTTP. Okay, we'll get there, but then okay, web server is going to be there, but then from the user we can't go to the web server immediately. There's something else.
Requesting the IP.
Is
The
it DNS?
Okay,
Yeah, in
okay,
DNS.
the DNS will also be useful, but then there's something else. Yeah, DNS, no, there's something else before the DNS. Address. Okay, you guys are forgetting something. what are we using here? This is a browser, right? This is a browser. So
Yes.
in order to locate now the web, you need to use a browser. So from the user, now you can say he uses a browser. So you can say the next thing maybe is a browser here. Oh, let me delete this. And I think there's a rectangle here. Okay, just use this. So after user, it's supposed to be always a browser, because you'll use a browser of your choice. So that's why, let me show you guys here something in page 3 here. That's why we are saying in the lamp architecture, first of all, Linux. So Linux now is the operating system. Is the operating system. So in this Linux here, we can also say a browser, because basically it doesn't have to be Linux. So you can just say the Linux. We can also interchange it with the browser. So in order to get into a website, you must use a browser to get there. So that's why the user now, from the user, go, the next thing should be the browser, because the browser is what now makes the user to be able to get to the website. I can't get here without this website here, without this browser here. So that's why. And then now I can say, okay, now after the browser, what's next? Now someone was saying DNS. Okay, let me write DNS, and then the one who was saying DNS is going to help us with why DNS. So let me just say DNS. I'm not saying this is right and I'm not saying this is wrong, but then it just had to help us know why you thought DNS was the best thing to do here, or the next step. So DNS. So the DNS here is supposed to be www.footbar.com. It's supposed to be www.fubar. I hope it's Fubar. Yeah, it's Fubar. Yeah, fubar.com. And also the one who will be telling us DNS will also tell us what type of record is www.fubar.com, because what we are doing here, we will be required to say it here down below here. So everything that we are trying to, the drawing here, while the review is going to be happening, you'll be asked what's the use of it. So like this one here, what is the role of the domain name? So, and then what type of domain name record is www.footbar.com. So you also know about that. So let me see who said that. Okay, I'll start with the first one. Doris. Okay, Doris, help us with that. So what do you think the next process should be? DNS.
I think because that will be a human readable text instead of the IP address.
Okay, thank you for that. So what type of record do you think www.fubar.com is? We talked about this
I'm not
yesterday.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure about that.
Yeah, okay, let's see if somebody is going to help you out here. Yeah, for those who attended yesterday's session, we talked about this one. So let me see, let me mention a name. Okay, James, are you willing to say something?
Um, I think it's Siname
Oh,
record. Siname.
no, it can't be that, do you know why?
Wait, can I first of all say my reason why I think it's
Okay, sure. Okay, sure.
Siname? Because I think it's an alias for Fuba.com.
Yeah, okay, but then now remember the conical name is a type of resource record that maps a domain name to another domain name, or maybe a conical name. So it can't be that. I don't think it's that. Maybe you try to, okay, let me see, who is somebody saying something, or maybe somebody has typed something. Address. Okay, okay, Wamaitha.
I will say it's an A record
Yeah. Actually, it's an A record. But then, okay, tell us the reason to why you think it's an A record.
because it maps the domain name to the IP address. It will look up the IP address associated with the www.fuba.com.
Yeah, exactly. This one is an A record because now our system, or maybe you can say our computer now, will translate this www.fuba.com to an equivalent IP address, so that it will enable the computer now to reach to where the website is. So this one is an IP, it's an A record. So while you're doing this, don't forget about that. So the same way we are doing here, that's the same way.
Excuse,
Yeah, sure.
excuse.
Okay, James. Yeah, sure.
So I have tried searching for it on the web.
Uh-huh.
It says that www is a canonical name
Mm-hmm.
DNS record type in www.fuba.com, since it also points to the same IP address as fuba.com.
Okay.
And if the IP address changes, we can only record changes in the DNS record of fuba.com.
Okay. So okay, I won't say. Let me see. Okay.
Try Googling
Okay. Let me see.
whether
No. I'll just say what's the difference. What's the difference between between a record and a synonym? Uh, Synonym. I just say that. Okay. An A record maps a hostname to one or more IP addresses, while the CNAME records maps a hostname to another hostname. Okay, this is why I was saying it's an A record. And then let us go down below here. So the main difference: an A record maps a name to one more IP addresses when the IP are known and stable. The CNAME record maps a name to another name. It should only be used when there are no records on that name. But then in this case here, we can see we were given even the IP here. I don't know. Let me see. Okay, James. Okay, James. I don't know what you. No. Si Jaba. Si Jaba.
For CNAME,
Mm-hmm.
you have said it
The CNAME
and
record maps a name to another
maps a
name.
name to another name, yeah,
Yeah.
a host name. Like maybe
so
I wrote this.
see that
Yeah, like Fuba,
Mm-hmm.
its CNAME could be foo.example.com or something. It does like and an A type,
Mm-hmm.
an A record
Mm-hmm.
maps directly to to an IP address.
But then here we've been given the IP address.
Yeah, but C type,
Mm-hmm.
CNAME I mean,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't map to the IP address. Like James anasema,
Mm.
see James, you are saying that
It's an
this will be
Jim
a
was saying this
CNAME.
one is a CNAME.
So it can't be a CNAME since it maps to an IP address.
Yeah, actually, okay, yeah, okay. Okay, I don't, James.
yes. So it doesn't map to fuba.com.
Okay, first of
Uh,
all, okay, Lupamo,
oh my
continue.
God. So he's saying, okay, so let's say you have fuba.com, okay? So in CNAME, uh, like the fuba.com will be mapping to maybe let's say foo.com. That would be like its IP instead of like I don't know how to explain. Let me send you a link where I read it.
Okay.
Okay, what I know is okay, James. Were you the one who was saying Jabba?
Pole.
Z, we are learning here, but then okay. The reason to say okay, I read it twice actually, but then I know I even counter checked. This one it can't be a C name because this one is an A record. Maybe you try looking up to the resources we are given. In the resources we are given here, we were provided. It was explaining pretty well why it's a C name. Okay,
You see, like what I've sent.
yeah, you can see here
Yeah,
name type
like
value, and then
yeah,
so bar.example.com is a C name for but then
yeah.
as you can see James, so maybe try looking up and then you can see. Okay, Chinoso, help us with that.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Oh, please don't be offended. I just joined. So the this thing now is not a C record. Is a record. Is not a C name record. Is an A record. The
Exactly.
reason why I say so, yes, the reason why I say so because I've read this thing several occasions because I was not even me. I was not even understanding it. So a C records have two addresses. Are you getting me? A C record, when you see a C records, I mean to say, when you see a C name, I mean to say, when you see a C name, it have two addresses. In case the first one, it you know all these things identify an IP address. In case the first one did not work, then it will redirect you to the second one. So that is a C name. But this one is a
It's a
record.
record. Exactly. So I don't know, James, if now you are convinced that this one is an A record.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
I am.
if you want to remember this thing properly, just say, don't say A record, just use the full name, address record. Yeah, so maybe we'll continue because you're saying now you're okay. Yeah, but then this is what it's called learning, so that's okay still. So now the user starts and then using the browser of his choice, you type maybe www.fuba.com, and then now after that, next. So next, yeah, somebody.
Web server, I think.
What's pardon?
Um, it um, it directs the request of the user to the web server that is that is hosting fuba.com, I
So you are
think.
saying next here it should be web server.
Yes.
No, it can't be a web server. It can be a web server, but then okay, I'm writing it, but
IP
then
address.
I'm writing it with red so that you'll know. But then it can't be a web server, but then because you are learning, let me just write it here, and then you'll see why it can be a web server. Okay.
Is it an IP address maybe? Because the DNS is supposed to return an IP address
Yeah,
to the
okay. I've
browser.
not written all of this. The DNS here at map www.fuba.com. I should also put is equals to this IP address that will be been given here, this server IP here. So what you're trying to say should be also here in the DNS www.fuba.com. So okay, after now the DNS. So somebody, James is saying it's a web server. So who is everybody okay? Chinoso, yeah, Chinoso help us with
I,
that.
I think it's the actual server
Okay, why do you think it's the actual server?
because in order to access the web server, you have to go through the server itself first.
Okay, but okay, I'm not saying you're wrong, but then there's something you're leaving out, something very simple. Because okay, what are you using to access this session right now? Okay, I was talking to the one who's talking, but then Chinoso, say something. I can see your hand is up, so in case you're talking, I can't hear you. Chinoso. Okay,
Yeah,
Bunji, yeah.
I think the next thing should be that the browser should return in form of maybe picture using CSS or or other application to return the result the user sends to the web browser to the user. I don't know.
Okay, thank you for that, Buchi. But then there's still something that's left out. Okay, okay. Let me give you guys a hint. Personally, to everybody, you can't just access, because everybody here we are using Google Meet. We are meeting from different locations. But then, in order to use Google Meet so that all of us can reach can communicate here, there's something that is making it possible. Because that's the internet. So the internet should be the next thing here, because without the internet now the user can't get the information, because remember the DNS also, it uses the internet to get now the next things, all of those things that you guys were saying. So here it's supposed to be the internet, it's supposed to be an internet. This one is an internet. And then now after the internet, now we're supposed now to now finally talk about these things here. So now we need a server, a web server, an application server, a database. So finally up to here, the only thing we have talked about, so we have talked about the user. So we have started with the user who wants to access the website. So whenever a user wants to access a website, he'll use a browser of his choice. Okay, sorry, let me see. Okay, Lupamo, sure. In case you're talking, we can't hear you.
Okay. Oh, can the browser
Okay.
access the DNS
Hmm.
without the internet?
Okay, okay. Okay, the thing is, for example, maybe you can try this in your. Okay, I can't switch off my internet right now, but then, once you go into a certain website, there's always a cache that remains in your computer. I
Yeah,
hope you know about
I
that. So
understand.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that cache is always available in your own computer. But then now, for it to be updated for real time content, now it must use the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've answered your question.
So I was thinking like
Hmm.
the internet should be the third part,
And then
and then the and
finally
then the
DNS.
yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Everybody's opinion is valid. But then, okay, I'll say this. Are you a Kenyan?
Ndio.
Okay. Sasa niambie mbona hivyo. Okay.
Okay, so come on, like since maybe let's say you don't have the cache for Fuba,
Okay.
so it will have to check it will have to ask the OS,
Yeah.
and then the OS maybe doesn't have the IP address for Fuba, so
Uh-huh.
it will have to go to the, I don't know, what was it? I don't remember. Like the root server or the resolver. Yeah, the resolver. So it will have to access the internet first and then ask for the IP for the IP address of the website.
Okay, yeah, okay,
That's my opinion.
okay, okay. Before,
I
before,
don't
okay,
know about
okay.
yeah.
I won't answer. I won't answer this immediately, because if you can remember, while we were doing network basics, there's a certain concept that we learned in everybody's computer, or maybe most importantly in this operating system. If you're using Linux, there's normally a file that keeps track of all, you can say, all websites. It has all, you can say, IP addresses. So but then let me just say, let me mention a name here. Okay, let me see. Okay, Clinton. Let me see. Clinton. Okay, Clinton, I don't think you can hear, so let me just see. Okay, Monica is really quiet today. Say something. Hey, Monica. Okay, let me mention another name. Oh, Ruth has already left. So okay, Yara. So Yara says something here. So do you agree with what Lupamo is saying, that you should interchange the DNS with the internet, so that after the browser, next it should be the internet and then the DNS? Okay, I don't think. Jason is saying he doesn't agree. It's only that your mic is not okay, but then you really wanted to know why you're not agreeing. So okay, Ruth, tell us something, Ruth. Okay, you are back. So do you agree with what Lupamo is saying, that we should interchange the internet with the DNS? There's no wrong answer here, guys. We are all learning. So unless you say something, you won't learn. And if you keep on keeping quiet, we won't do all the 3 tasks. We'll only do 2. I wanted us to do all the 3 from task 0, 1 and 2. So just say something. Personally, I've already done this, so I want us to do it together all over again from the beginning, so that we can know how our thought process work. So that when I use
Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, so the question is, okay, Lupamo is saying we should interchange our DNS with the internet. So the internet should be the third one here. So whenever a user wants to get a website, so the first one should be the user, second browser, and then after the browser, he's saying we should interchange internet and then DNS. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the internet should come before the DNS too.
Okay, why do you think? That's what I want. Why do you think the internet should come first before the DNS?
Because the DNS is a site, and to access a site, you need internet connection.
No.
So,
I'm disagreeing. I'm disagreeing with you there. The DNS itself is not a
oh,
site.
okay.
The DNS itself is not a site. This one is a domain name system.
If I may ask.
But can it be accessed without the internet?
Okay, personally, even if you open your browser and then there's no internet, remember you can still type www.fuba.com, but then without the internet you won't be able to access this. I don't know, you guys think
Can
you're
you hear
accessing
me?
this without the internet, but then you first type this and then using the internet you access something else here. I don't know if you're getting what I'm trying to say here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure, I can hear you.
Please, sorry, sometimes my mic used to misbehave.
Okay, sure.
Sorry for that. There is no need to swap it. It's in a good order. From the user now, when you key into your URL, which is the browser,
Yeah.
then the browser now, what we use and here is your IP address.
Exactly.
The browser will now send the IP address to the internet.
Exactly.
So the DNS, that place is correct.
Yeah, because
What if the browser doesn't get the IP address? What if the browser doesn't find the IP address?
Now the browser won't find the IP. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say here. Let me type something here. Let me remove this tab here and then let me type a new one. So okay, for example, it's like this. So the browser is normally like this, right? So even if you don't have internet here, I'll still be able to say www.fuba.com. Remember, I'll still be able to do this, but then now without the internet I won't be able to go to this site. So that's why after now, that's why I'm saying after now typing this domain name system here, that's why we now use the internet to access now the website itself. That's why after the internet we now go to something else here, these 4 things here. So now after that we are now implementing these 4 here. I don't know if you are getting me. Maybe somebody.
Yeah, I get it now.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Ruth. Okay, I think Lupamo is the one who still has a problem with this. Is it Lupamo or is it James?
It's me.
Okay, so still okay, Chinoso. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it, sir.
okay. Okay, maybe can you try helping? Can you try helping me so that you can explain this better to Lupamo, because I think he's still doubting this. He's still saying the internet should come first before this.
See, there is no there. You have said it all now because you open your URL. You know sometimes when you want to type something now, when you use your, the issue, what the person should be, Lupamo, don't be offended. What you should bear in mind is this DNX now is your IP address.
Yeah.
Is now your IP address, and when you want to, it's like maybe you want to go to the person, you want to go somebody's house. You must first of all know the person house address.
Exactly.
Are you getting me? So if actually you do not know the person house address, there is no way
You can go
you will
there.
reach the person location.
Yes.
So sometimes you after you reach the person, the person, maybe you reach the person house, maybe you reach along the streets. So you must first of all find the address of the person. So this www.fuba.com is like the person uh, IP address. So that is, if actually if it is me, that is the route. That is the route where you will start to before you get to the internet. Because without this IP address now, you cannot get to the person house.
Okay, I don't know if Lupamo that has helped, or maybe we should add something. Okay, I think the better.
Hello.
You're sure?
I think I have something I can add,
Okay, sure.
and correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
So the DNS doesn't need like the internet in order to find the IP address. It's already connected. The domain name and the IP address, it's already in the DNS. You don't need the internet to find the IP address.
Yeah, something.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Personally, I think it makes sense. I get what you're trying to say here. I get what
Can
you're
I
trying.
can I can I chime in on that?
Okay, sure.
But I think I understand. I think I understand Lupamo because she has said that you can access the IP address without the internet.
Yeah.
I think that's why because if I type in www.foba.com without the internet, I can't access www.foba.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I think there's a problem because
Okay.
you can't find the IP address without the internet. So you can type www.foba, but maybe without the internet you can't access www.foba.com.
Now that's now
You can just
now
type.
you are getting what I'm trying to mean here. So that's why I'm saying after the user uses the browser, and the user now after the user we go to the browser, and then after the browser we go now to www.fuba.com. So when you open your browser here, even if you don't have the internet, you'll still be able to say www.fuba.com. But then now without the internet, you won't be able now to access the site.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
okay. That's okay.
even if you don't have the internet, you'll still be able to do this www.fuba.com. But then now without this internet, you won't be able to now to access the next thing here. There's something we are not yet done here. So now without this internet, you won't be able to access this here. So
Okay.
yeah, so I don't know if that's now making sense.
Well, that's making sense. Maybe Lupamo, are you okay that?
Okay. Okay. So
Let
I've sent a link.
Okay, let
So
me
what
check.
if what if
Mm-hmm.
you can open that link?
Okay.
What if
Mm-hmm.
the browser doesn't have the IP address of the website?
Mm-hmm.
It will have to ask the resolver. I think is it the resolver, and then you can open the link. You can see I've
but I
sent it.
think I think with you Lupamo, you're going maybe where he's at is at the point where you've only put in the DNS and you're going to access the internet.
Yeah,
Now
the DNS has to access the internet if it doesn't find the IP address.
Okay. I already got what you're trying to mean, but then
Okay.
still, we still can't change this because, yeah, the DNS can't get, even if the computer doesn't have the IP address, it will need the
Oh,
internet to be able to access it, right? So that's
yeah,
what you're trying to say.
yeah.
But then, but then, you'll still be able to type this, right?
Yes.
Do you really need the internet to be able to type www.fuba.com?
You know, it even
Wait.
it's not just about typing. You have
Wait.
written DNS.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Do you need the
Yeah.
internet to type this www.fuba.com?
No.
But then you need the internet to access this, right?
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
What if? Okay, so that's what I'm asking. What if
Mhm.
I don't have the IP address? You see, you have written here the DNS www.fuba.com. So you have written that.
Okay,
What's the function of a DNS?
let me add some let me add the full thing here,
What's the
because
function of a DNS?
maybe
Is to convert written
okay,
language in.
let me change let me finish all of it, because maybe let me just delete this so that I can type all of it DNS, because maybe that's why we are not fuba.com equals to, I think it's 8 so now let me just take this one here. Okay, now you can finish up what you're saying now.
Okay, see, to access the www.fuba.com,
Mm-hmm.
you have to use the DNS.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
what if the browser doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
its IP address?
That's where
It will
now
have to,
the internet will be useful.
yeah.
That's why, but then still okay, you're overthinking this, Lupamo.
Okay. Let's keep it.
Maybe we'll
Let's
come
keep.
back later. Okay, we'll come
Yeah,
back later,
yeah. We'll
because
come back
they still.
later. Yeah.
But then I feel that you are overthinking this. That's where you are going wrong, because you'll type this, and then now if the computer doesn't have this IP address,
Mm-hmm.
now it will use the internet to get it, because it will just your computer, because the computer doesn't understand what www.fuba.com is, but then it understands this IP address of 8.8.8.8. But then we'll come back there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if we continue here, time will.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me. So next here, so I'll just put a rectangle, and then somebody will tell me what I'm supposed to put inside. I think that's enough. Okay, so maybe somebody to help me with. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, somebody to help me. What is this supposed to be? So what is this? Somebody, let me mention a name, because if I let me just.
The server.
Yeah, this is a server. Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is a server. Okay, thank you for that. This is a server. I just like typing it outside here, because yeah, this is a server. Yeah, and then now inside the server we are supposed to have one web server, one application server, one code base, and then one database. So I'm going, okay, yeah, let me not put them. So okay, Clinton, you're the one who has said server, right?
Yes.
Okay, now let somebody else say the next thing. Don't comment on this second part. So let me see.
Okay. Another one is a
Okay, Chino,
is
so
web server.
okay, Chino, so help us. Okay, after the server, what next?
Is web server.
Web server. Okay, yeah, thank you for that. It's a web server. Yeah, so let me just write it here, and then I'll put it inside. So web server. Yeah, that's a web server. So let me just put, yeah, this one here. Just put it that like that, because of, I'm not using my mouse, so You have to bear it with me for today. Yeah, and then after the web server, Chinoso, don't say anything. Let me somebody else. After Monica, you're too quiet today. Yeah, help us with that. So after the web server, what next? What next after the web server? Monica, I want to hear something from you. Okay, I'll say maybe the internet connection. The internet connection sometimes is bad, so let me just call on application files. Yeah, thank you, Jason, for that. So code base, you can just say application files or code base, so either way it's still okay. So just use this here. Yeah, so this one here is a code base. Let me just say application files. Application files. Yeah, and then okay, thank you, Jason, for that. Somebody else now. Finally, we still have two things remaining. So okay, Wamaitha, help us with the next thing. So we have
Is
the web
it the
server.
database?
Yeah.
Is it the database?
Okay, where am I supposed to put it? Am I supposed to put it here up or here down?
Down.
Here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think it will just place it there too. Guys, all this arrangement also matters, because you can't say your application, your web server is interacting with the database, because the web server doesn't interact with the database. So the arrangement also matters. Yeah, so this one here, this one is the database. And then finally we have one last thing remaining. Let me see what's remaining. Okay, let me see who is not following up. Let me just mention a name, a random name somewhere. Everybody. Okay, Doris, help us with the last thing. So what are you supposed to put up here?
Application server.
Yeah, that was an easy one for you. Yeah, it's an application server. Yeah, this one here is supposed to be an application server. Application server. Yeah, just place it there. Yeah, so now let me see. Somebody will tell us how now they communicate with each other. So let me mention a random name also. Everybody has said something. Gabriel. Yeah, thank God, Gabriel is here. So Gabriel, help us here. So now, how are these things supposed to communicate? So the web server, so the server will communicate with which one here?
I think the server will communicate with the database.
No. I'm disagreeing with you there. Okay, or maybe let me not say that. Or maybe okay, give us your reason for that.
The server will get a kind of data to work with, so it must collect the kind of information from the database, so that before it's sent to the internet where there will be traffic.
Okay, thank you for that. Let me ask you something small before you go. What's a server? We discussed about this yesterday. So what did you understand by the name server? What's a server?
Actually, yesterday you made mention about the web server itself, and application server is a kind of device that provides internet services, that provide the kind of internet services.
Okay,
Actually, that's what you actually talked about yesterday.
okay. Let me say. Okay, guys, I think you have heard, I think everybody has heard Gabriel. So Gabriel is saying our server here is supposed to communicate with the database. So he's saying we should draw a line. So let me draw it, and then somebody will tell me if it's correct or not. So Gabriel is saying, I'll just put it to be red in color. So Gabriel is saying it should be like this: server should be communicate with the database. So do you guys think that's correct, or maybe we should change something? Yara, tell us. Do you think that's okay? Do you think the server is supposed to communicate with the database? Yeah, I think maybe he has some internet connection. So maybe let me just mention another person. Oh, Rafik, I hope that's how the name is pronounced. Okay, Yara is saying he thinks it should communicate, it should be the application server. You know there are two app here, so which app here? So, okay, he's saying app server, so maybe I think he's talking about application server. So maybe it could be better, he could tell us a reason for that. Why do you think it should be the app server? Guys, you should know about this. Imagine you should know about this. Well, because during when the review will be happening, I saw that you'll have to do this in front of someone. Yeah, so you should understand everything here. You should know why the web server is communicating with what, and then finally the database, because everything here works differently. Okay, let me see what he has typed. He's saying application server with web server, so it could handle the request that wasn't just HTTP, maybe. Okay, I don't know what he's trying to say, but then I think he's saying, let me just see, I think he's saying, let me remove this, but then I think he's saying, let me just take this down a little bit, just space here. I was trying, so I think he's saying, first of all, you should start with, so this, I think he's saying you should communicate with this one, and then the web server, I think he's saying it should communicate with the application server, and then I think finally the web server communicates with that one, and then finally this one communicates with this, and then this one goes with that one. Yeah, so okay, what do you guys think about this one? Chinoso, comment something here. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. From you, it's like is correct, but the server now is like a container.
Mm-hmm.
I for my own understanding, I thought the server is like a container that holds, like, is
Everything.
like a hardware that holds all the both the web server, application file, application, and the database.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be communicating to all of them. Are you getting me? If it is me, that server now, I will not even write it there.
Mm-hmm.
I will even write it either outside or nearby, outside the container.
Okay, I think I get you. Let me delete this. So you're saying the server should be outside, like that. Chino, so in case you're talking, we can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. Because it's just a container that holds all of them. It can be physical, part of the computer. It can be visual.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
So
just a container that holds all of them. So it should be communicating to all of them.
no, so the
Yes.
server should be like that, and then
Yeah.
finally just
Then
the
these ones are correct. These are for my own.
Okay, thank you for that, Chino. So let me hear someone else. What? Yeah. Thank you, Yara, for that. So let me see if everybody, if somebody has something to say. Okay, let me start with Lupamo, because I've noticed that Lupamo has a lot to say. Okay, Lupamo, comment on this. Comment on the server side. First of all, we are here on the server, so comment here.
I think it's okay. Yeah, it's okay, since the web server communicates to both. So the web server can communicate to the application server and the application files and the database.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Now I need one person to help me with something here. So let me. Monica, today you are really quiet, but then. Okay. Okay. Ruth, can you hear me? Hey Ruth. Okay, I think I can hear her also. Let me just call somebody else. Okay. Okay, James.
Yes.
Okay, I want you to explain the server part. So now after start from here. Let me I'm going to explain it up to the internet, and then you'll finish up. Okay.
Wait. First of all, I don't get how the web server gets to communicate to the application files. My thoughts are that the application server communicates with the application files, which in turn communicate with the database.
Okay, so let me use a different color. So okay, so you are saying the application server communicates with the application files.
Yes.
Okay, let me just draw a line. Okay, so let me change it so that, and then finally the application files communicate with the database. So I think that's the only thing we are supposed to change. Okay, first of all, you are going to explain it to us once we get there. So now when a user logs in or maybe wants to access a certain website, so uses his own browser, he types in the address, so maybe www.fuba.com. so the computer in return, it translates the address into these bits, and then now using the internet, it's able now to, okay, I'll reach there. So now using the internet, James, now using the internet,
Yes.
yeah, now using the internet now, yeah, so now the user
You
has
can.
used his browser, DNS, the internet. So finally now we're in the server, so the user wants this website here. So now how will he get the data?
So if he wants the website, see the server is going to connect him to the web server, the container that is holding the website itself,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And you know that the website interacts with the what, the say like the HTML pages. Those are the codes which are contained in the application server. That's why I was saying that the application server communicates to the application files, and not the web server which communicates to the application files.
Okay, take this for an instance. Okay, maybe I don't want any computation, because maybe some websites you have to fill a form that is going, and then the details are going to be stored in a database. But then for an instance, I don't need all of that. I just need Python documentation. I just need a website to read, so which is an HTML file. So now how will the web server do that? Because the web server is the one that is going to be used to display. So how does the web server display, or what will happen so that the web server finally returns the index file, the HTML file, so that I can display it? Now this web server here, there's something we talked about yesterday called HTTP. Now use HTTP. Explain this web server using HTTP, because if you explain it without HTTP, you can't be right. because here you can remember, look at here down. So you are saying you should be able to explain what is a server. You should also, what is the role of the domain system? We have already talked about that. What type of domain name system? We have already talked about that. Now, what is the role of the web server? Now that's what I'm asking. So in this case here, so what's the role of the web server in returning the page? Now that's what I want you to tell us. And then while James is saying that, Gabriel, you're going to help us with what is the role of the application server. So Gabriel, you are next. So you're going to tell us what is the role of the application server, and then finally, oh no, not finally, and then, okay, what is the role of the database? That one is simple, but then somebody will help us with that also. And then finally, what is the server using to communicate with the computer? And the one who is explaining the role of the web server is the same person who will explain what is the server using to communicate with the computer, because it's using the same thing, the same technology used, is the same technology that is used. So let me see, I think somebody has commented something, or maybe it's a comment. So Lupamo is saying to serve the content HTML and CSS of JS. Okay, that's true Lupamo, that's true. Okay, now what type of technology is it using? Yeah, so the web server helps us to serve the content of the HTML and CSS. Yeah, that's true actually. But then now, what type of technology does the web server use so that now it serves here HTTP? Exactly. So this is now what you're supposed to do, or maybe explain it. So using HTTP, the web server is now able to serve the content of HTML and maybe CSS or maybe JavaScript. So without using HTTP, you can't be right. You should not forget about that one. I think that's it for the web server part. And then now, what is the role of the application server? Yeah, Gabriel, help us with that one. So what is the role of this application server here? This application server here, what role does it work here?
So, excuse.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Could you maybe explain on what you understand about on what an application server is, so that we can maybe be on the same page?
Okay, let me see. Who is it? James?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, Gabriel.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, have you had the question from James?
Yes, he said you should describe more details about what application server is.
Yeah, so while you're explaining the application server, start with what is an application server itself. Despite yesterday we talked about this, but then okay, we'll do a quick one. So start with that. So what is an application server, and then how is it working here, or maybe what's the role of the application server in this setup here? Yeah, so the floor is yours. Let me mute myself so that you can. Okay, sure.
Basically, to my own best understanding, application server, according to this diagram, is a kind of a server that helps to communicate to the other parts, like as in the computer system itself. It interacts with all other parts. From your diagram here, you're having the web server, you're having the database and application files. So most of us, what you're having in this server, apart from the application server, which is the web server, application server, and the application files. So the application server itself interacts with all of them within within the within the box. Within the box itself from the diagram, it interacts with all of them at the same time.
Okay.
That is my own best understanding.
Okay, James. I don't know if that helped. James.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, so that's okay.
Yeah, that helps.
Okay. So finish up, Gabriel, on that. So now in this setup here, so how's the application server helpful here?
once from the diagram, application server fetch information from the web server. So to interact, once the web server has been created now, the application server fetch information directly from the web server in order to communicate to the other parts of the application files and the database.
Okay. Yeah. Let me unmute. Okay. Is there a question about that? Or maybe is there somebody who has not understood what Gabriel has said? Okay, since everybody, I think everybody has understood. So finally, okay, the database. Okay, let me get somebody to explain the database part. So okay, Buchi, help us with the database. So what do you think the database is what's the importance of the database in this setup here?
Okay, the database is like a container is where data is organized. That is in the definition. So this application server, it provides the logic on how web applications are interpreted. Then it goes into the application files. Then application files are like the codes, like the written codes on which which performs the logic of applications. Then it also fetches this data from the database where all the data are organized and I don't know. Yeah. In the database, let me just say that data is fetched in an organized manner using the application files.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you for that, Buchi. Okay, so in short, guys, the database is where the data is usually stored. Yeah, in short, there's no difference. The same definition of the database is how it still works here. So don't overthink it. The application files, the application server, the web server, internet, the DNS, the browser, and the user. So I think that's it for this task. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, okay. We are left with 3 things here. So you must be able to explain what are the issues with this infrastructure. So what do you think are some of these disadvantages of this structure here? Oh, sorry about that one. Okay, let me just do this. Okay, what do you think is the disadvantage of this infrastructure? Somebody?
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure. Say something.
When you have only one server,
Mm-hmm.
then if it fails, the entire website becomes unavailable.
Yeah, sure. That's one disadvantage of this architecture here, because in case this server here fails, so everything here will go down. Yeah, so that's one disadvantage. Let's see also, it's saying also, yeah, okay, so you must be able to explain what okay, yeah, cannot scale too much traffic. Okay, I've seen somebody has comment. Let me see. Single point failure, that's what has been explained. Downtime when maintenance needed, like deploying new code base server needed to be restarted. Okay, there's something called, we didn't discuss about this yesterday. actually I don't know how I can do this, but then let me see. There's something we didn't discuss yesterday. There's something called load balancer here. Load, I hope that's the correct spelling. Load balancer. So in most situations, where you can, in big sites like LinkedIn, maybe Facebook, and maybe Instagram, you'll notice that no matter how many times or no matter how many users logging into that website, it still doesn't hang. Yeah. So in our setup here, in case we get a lot of leads that will be coming here, you'll find that maybe our website here may be down because there's no load balancer here. So the load balancer is something that I don't know, let me confirm it with someone here. Chinoso.
Yeah, so I'm hearing you. The load balance.
Yeah.
Let me see the
Okay, the load balancer is not
the
here. It's not here, but then
I know. I know. Let me see this diagram. Yeah,
it's here.
the load balance now will serve, like, for an instance, because of what our sister said. This is our design now. We do it maybe if we have maybe 10 users that log in our sites, it can be okay. But if actually it will require maybe 100 users, 1 million users, it will be affecting our web servers. So for us to maintain and serve our client well, we have to use what we call load balance, and we can use the Rand Robinson, which distributes to which distributes all of them, which distributes 1 1 to all of them. It serves them 1 1 to the web servers. I don't know whether you guys are understanding me.
Yeah, sure. We are understanding you.
Which serve all of them 1 1. If it goes to the web servers, it will distribute them. These web servers, it will be like creating IP address into 2 or 3 sections. So it will serve this one will generate its answer, so that if this one goes down now, this one will start. If this one goes down now, this one will start, so that it will serve its client well. That's how I understand this load balance.
Yeah, actually that's what it's going to do. But then, okay, you have explained up to the second task. I didn't want you to talk about the round robin and all of that, but then, yeah, so what he has talked about is actually going to be useful here in the second task here. So let me see if I've left anything out. Yeah, okay, basically I think that's it. So the last thing, you should just be able to say, so this cannot scale too much incoming traffic. So while you're explaining about this one, you should talk about the load balancer here. So you should talk about the advantages of it, and then maybe why it's important. You should know, but then most importantly, don't give too much information because of this line here. Keep in mind, not here. Similarly, not here. Yeah, here I think cover what the requirements mentions. We'll explore details in a later project. Okay, it's not this one. There's a certain line here that's saying this one here. Similarly, in Adobe India, you should answer what you ask, so don't speak too much. So avoid going in details here. This is the line I was looking for. In this project again, avoid going in details if not asked. So don't go into details so much if you are not asked. So just do what you're asked here. So don't add an extra thing. So as long as we have one server here, one web server here, one application server, one code base, and then one database, and then a domain name, that's it. And also we have our user. We have started with our user, so I think that's it. So the second thing, after you are done with the drawing, you're supposed to take a screenshot, as you can see here. So you're supposed to take a screenshot and then upload a screenshot showing that you have completed the required levels to any image hosting services. I just used IMGA personally while I was doing this. So you just go here to IMGA. You just I've created an account, but then in case you have not created an account, you won't see this page here. So you just come here, create an account, and then after creating the account, you just now go to upload a picture. So after taking the screenshot, of course the screenshot will be saved in your file manager. So you just come, upload it here, and then after uploading, you take the link, paste it to your file here, to this file here, to this simple web stack, and then you take the URL, post it here, save, and then you're done. Yeah, so the first one, so distributed web. Okay, before we move here, does anyone have a question about that one before we move on? Yeah, because the requirements, I think we'll just move on because of time. So on a whiteboard, design three server web infrastructure that hosts your website, www.fuba.com, and then the requirements, in this case you must have 2 servers, and then you should have 1 web server in each. So even if they're saying 1 web server, it means because there'll be 2 servers, so each server we should have a 1 web server, it should have an application server, it should have a load balancer, the one we have talked about, this one last year, and then 1 set of application files, the code base, we have already talked about that one, and then 1 database. So the only thing here that we have not talked about, or maybe we have not set up, is the load balancer here. Everything else here, and then maybe the server, because in this case there are going to be 2 servers, and then you must be able to explain. Yeah, so the explanation, we are going to do it together. Let me just remove. Okay, let me remove this one here, and then I'll just open a new page because this one is boring. I can't remove this one. So for then this next one, yeah, another one. So this one here is supposed to have 2 servers. Either way, you should start with the user. So because we've already done the first one, this one will be quickly. So I'll just go until the first server, and then for the next second server, somebody will help me with that. So let me just do it in a straight line. This one I did it in a straight line, I think. So start with the user. Let me just do it so that we don't waste time. That one will be the user, and then this one will be the browser, and then this one will be the DNS resolution, and then this one will be the internet, and then we'll have, okay, we'll have something here. Okay, I'll just leave it here because we can continue with the next 2 things here before something else. We must add something else here. So this one here, first one here will be, first one here is going to be the user, and then second one is going to be the browser, and then third one here is going to be the DNS, so www.fuba. Yeah, you know, we will know how that's ends, so just leave it there. Sorry. Okay, Buchi, sure. Yeah, Buchi, I can see you have raised your hand.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to add something to the argument we had. Sorry, the confusion
Okay.
in the initial state when we are dealing with if DNS, if the internet should come
First,
first
and then the
before
browser.
the
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think we can generate the DNS of um any host name,
Hmm.
that is any web address, through command line. Yeah.
Okay.
So if we can do that, I think the internet is, there's no way the internet could come before
The
the
DNS.
DNS. Yes. So to clear the the confusion that is coming from there. If you do in your command line, if you do ns lookup, then followed by
The
the host
address.
name,
Yeah.
yeah, you will get the IP address of that host name.
Yeah. I hope I hope James is following up, because the one who had was doubting this. Yeah. So let me just do this quickly, and then so that will finish up, because we have already used our time. We're normally supposed to use 2 hours, and then I can see we have already used 2 hours. Okay. So now the first time after here, the next time we are going to a server and then finish up. But then in this case here, we're supposed to have a load balancer, and then a set of application files, and then a database. So quickly guys, so that we can finish this. So let me just mention some names so that we can finish this quickly. Okay. Doris, help us here. So after the internet here, so what's the next thing?
The next thing we should put is a server.
Okay. Let me just use a different color, because you're saying, okay, so you're saying we should use a server here. After this one here, it should be a server.
Yes, after the internet.
Okay.
Inside the server, is where we should put the load balancer.
Let me delete this one. There's a rectangle here for this one.
Can I ask something?
Okay. Just wait a minute. Is just a minute. In case you want to comment about this server here, don't comment yet. If you want to comment about something else, feel free, but then don't comment on this web server first of all, this server. Yeah. So and then inside here I should put the load balancer. Okay. So we are all learning here, so that's why I'm doing all of this. I want us to know, because balancer. Yeah, I think that's way. Okay, Doris, I'm still with you.
Yes.
Yeah. So okay, as you can see here, in task 2 is saying we need 2 servers. Okay. So in this case here, we need 2 servers. So where should be the second server go?
The second server should go below or on the side with the next server.
Okay, let me just do that. Yeah. Let me just do that. I'm still with you. Okay. So you're saying this should be server 2. Okay, server 2. Okay. So I should also say this one was server 1. I just didn't write. Let me just write 1 here. Okay, now, so you want to say server 2 also has its own load balancer?
No. See, the load balancer is 1.
Yeah, so we need only 1 load balancer, but then we have 2 servers. So how is this going to work?
We should use 1 load balancer in case server 1 goes down. We can use server 2, and in the time of log shift, like we should use the one load balancer. If, for example, server 1 has gone down, the load balancer assists
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I think somebody is that a comment or maybe okay. Wait a minute, Buchi. Just a minute. Just a minute. Don't comment yet. Just a minute. Just a minute. I want to follow up with Doris before I let her go. Okay. So I need you to tell me now. So okay. So you are saying this load balancer should just remain here. That's what I want to confirm. So you are saying this load balancer should just remain here.
Yes, to my opinion.
Yeah, everybody's opinion is valid. Okay, so you want to say, so you're saying server one. So if in a case where we have two servers, so only one server should have the load balancer, so that in case the other one fails, this one should remain. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, Buchi. Okay, now comment on what you wanted. We are here.
Okay. I from the diagram, I think that load balancer should come at the place where we have server.
Where we have server one.
Then yeah, where we
Okay,
have server one.
okay. Let me do that. Just let me just do that immediately, and then you tell me why. Okay, let me remove this here, and then let me also just do this quickly here. So sorry about that one. I'll just put the okay. So you're saying the load balancer should be here, and then after that, finish up this architecture, and then after that, Gucci. Okay, I think my internet connection is my internet connection. Let me confirm. Oh, okay, Bucci. I think Bucci has some internet connection. Okay, okay, James. Monica, are you trying to say something? We can't hear you.
Yeah, I think the load balancer should come in between the servers. That's why it's called the load balancer.
Yeah, so you're saying it should be in between the two servers.
Yeah.
Okay, let me okay, why do you think you should okay, tell us the reason. Tell us the reason. In case you're talking, we can't hear you. Okay, because of time, somebody to help me with that.
It's because it's trying to okay, just like the name suggests, it's balancing the load between the servers. Just in case one server gets overloaded or there are too many requests, then it can push some of the requests to server two. So I think it's supposed to be there hapo kwenye where Monica has said
Okay,
at the
okay.
center.
Let me see who is talking. Is it James? James, are you the one who's talking?
Yes.
Okay, and okay. Now, thank you for that. Now, so how should the lines be? Should there be a line from here to here, from here to here, and also another one
Yes.
from here to here?
Yes.
Okay. Let me change. Okay, okay. I think this is the only. Okay, let me see. Is there somebody has a. Okay, Buchi, sure. Okay, sure, Buchi.
Sorry, the other time my network went off.
Okay, so yeah, somebody has said
I
the balancer should be here. So I don't know. What do you think?
yeah, exactly. So it's okay that way.
Yeah. So
And
now,
I have a question.
okay.
I wanted to ask a question then. I've had people in this PLD say that load balancer can also be used during downtime.
Mm-hmm.
So I want a clarification on that. I thought the main function of a load balancer is to um,
Distribute.
designate uh, functions to other servers when the load is too much. So I don't know if it also functions during downtime. So that's my question.
Okay.
Because I've had it so like a number of times in this session.
Okay, I think everybody was trying to. That's just how everybody has understood it. But then, the load balancer just distributes the workload of your system to multiple individual systems. Yeah, I think there's no other explanation for that. So everybody is explaining this depending on how he got it. But then now, if the concept is still the same, or maybe am I saying it wrong? In case you're the one who said that, am I saying it wrong, or that's the same thing you meant? I think everybody is saying that, but then Buchi, just I think what you should know here is that the load balancer still just distribute the workload of the system. Yeah, so that to reduce the amount load of an individual system. I think that's the better explanation for this. I don't know if there's another better explanation for this. That's how I got it. So in case maybe somebody else got a better explanation for it, please feel free. We are all here to learn. Yeah. So because of time, let me just quickly finish up this one. So it's supposed to be here, web server. Let me just copy this. Let me just duplicate. Put it here. Make sure guys, you ask questions, because during the time when the review is going to be happening, if you don't explain it properly, it means you are not the one who did it. So just also duplicate this one so that I'll put it on the other side because of time. Tomorrow we were supposed to do web static, so I want us to finish all of this today. I hope then finally duplicate wherever, let's place it here. Yeah, so here inside, this one here is supposed to be a web server. This one here is supposed to be an application server. Back in Kenya, when Kenyans normally say Java when they think you're lying. In case you hear a Kenyan say Java, just know they think you're lying, or maybe you are saying things without facts. Put that one there also. Just duplicate this one. Put that one there. Here, just say code base. And then finally here inside, this one is a database. Yeah. application. Okay, so just have a query, just comment it out, because just doing this because of time. I want us to finish this today, because if we say we'll finish it tomorrow, I don't think time will allow us tomorrow, because tomorrow we were supposed to do web static. We were supposed to finish on the remaining tasks, which were 4. So I think there's something left out here. Let me see. So you must add, I think that's it from here. So for every additional element you're adding, what is the distribution algorithm? Yeah, okay, for this now I'll just need someone to explain this. We have already explained why we have added the load balancer, so the first one is okay, and then the second one is saying what distribution algorithm your load balancer is configured with and how it works. Let me just mention a name. Chinoso.
Sir, I'm hearing you. That is what I want to even talk about.
Yeah.
This round robin, is it this node balance is using a algorithm? Is it algorithm or logarithm? So
Algorithm.
we algorithm. We have so many algorithm. We have round robins, which I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
which distributes them. It distributes one. It first of all distribute the first one, and if a user then requests, it first of all distribute the first one, then another user that requests, then it will distribute the second one, then if another user requests, then it will go and distribute the first one again before the second one.
Okay, wait, Chinoso, wait, on the last part I think you have confused something. Okay, repeat on the last part. If another user,
if the first user that requests,
yeah,
then you first of all distribute the first one, the first server,
yes,
then another user that requests, then it will distribute the second server, then
yes,
if another user requests again, it will go to the first one before the second one again.
yeah,
That's how we
exactly.
distribute it.
Yeah, now that's how round robin works. So round robin, you can just say it's more like of a circle. So the first process comes in, and then it's allocated, and then the second one is allocated. Once all rounds have gone, so it starts allocating again from one, going 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, so that's just round robin. And then there's another one called weighted scheduling algorithm. So will you talk about that also, Chinoso?
That one I can't say much of that because I have not read those ones. I know that weighted set is just a server base, and it's because of the capacity of what the first one have. If actually the first one capacity cannot carry it, then it's transload to the next distance server.
Yeah.
That's how I understand that's wasted run robin.
Yeah,
Weighted.
okay, basically the weighted one, you can just say work is assigned to a server according to the weight assigned to the server. So maybe you can get a certain server has a weight of 1, and then maybe works comes in that maybe needs 1 weight, so it is going to be assigned to that server, that specular server. And then maybe if another one comes that has a weight of 2, it's going to be assigned to a certain server which also was implemented by the admin, or maybe you can just say the admin. So it depends. You are the one who sets the weights. You can say it 1 2 3, so you're the one who decides on that. I think we're going to move on ahead unless somebody has a question on the load balancer. Yeah, so I think everybody's okay with that. So maybe I should just give a tip on that. So there are two types of there are two categories of the load balancer. So there's the software, and then there's the hardware. So we have only talked about the software, so you can just go ahead and look for the hardware yourself, so that in case you're asked about that one, you still be able to know. So And then it's saying, is your load balancer enabling an active or active passive setup? Explain the difference between both an active or an active passive setup. Okay, and then how a database primary replica cluster works. I'm sorry about this one. Okay, one is supposed to be primary and then the other one is supposed to be a copy. Okay, I hope, let me just say this one, let's have a one with the primary. Let this one be the primary. Let this be the primary. Let this be the primary. And then let the other one be the replica. This one here. I don't want the video to be too long. I don't want to surpass 2 hours. So replica. This session was supposed to be long. It will be short. What's the difference between the primary node and the replica node in regards to the application? Okay, so you must be able to explain what are the issues with this infrastructure, and then so single point of failure, security issues, and then no monitoring. Okay, somebody to help us with the security issues with this setup here, with this infrastructure. I noticed that Doris was pretty okay with us. So Doris, so what do you think? What are some of the problems with this architecture here?
The web is not encrypted, or
okay, finish up. It's pending.
It is more vulnerable to being hacked
Because
of HTTP, not HTTPS, or
yeah, you're supposed to implement HTTPS, not HTTP in this case. And also somebody to explain about, I need somebody to talk about what is it? It's called firewall. Is it fire panel or is it firewall? Something.
firewall.
Yeah, firewall. Yeah. In regards here, somebody should also talk about a firewall here. So yeah, okay, yeah, security issues. No, there's no firewall, no HTTP. So somebody to also explain about the firewall aspect of this. It's missing a firewall. So I think there are only 2 lines about that. So somebody, okay. Thank you, Doris, for that. Let me see. Okay. Clinton. Help us with that.
With
Okay. In our architecture here, you can see our architecture is not safe here because we have not implemented a firewall or HTTPS. But then Doris has talked about HTTPS, so maybe try explaining to us why, what's the problem, or maybe what problem are we going to face because we have not implemented the firewall here.
without implementing the firewall,
Yeah,
that means it's prone to attacks because
exactly.
the firewall.
Yeah, continue.
Just that it's prone to attacks because the firewall takes care of, it looks at incoming traffic and outgoing traffic. So
I
without
think
it,
that's enough explanation here. The firewall is what is going to be useful so that it enables. Okay, some hackers are usually pros, but then you can just say the firewall is beneficial because in some scenarios it's going to protect our websites from outside sources. So I think that's enough. I think most important thing there, just talk about the hacking part. HTTPS has already been discussed, and then now, yeah, where are single point of failure? And then in this case here, the single point of failure, server 1, server 2. In case server 1 fails, server 2 will take part. And then in case server 2 fails, so there's no firewall, there's no what, but then okay, either way, I think you look up to this one here. Yeah, so the last one, task 2. So this one is the last one. So on a whiteboard, design a 3-server architecture. So this one is supposed to be a 3-server architecture. So the host, the DNS still will be the same, and then so it must be secured server. So it means you should use HTTPS in this case. Because of this, it must be secured server, encrypted, traffic can be monitored. So in this case, you must use HTTPS. So the requirements, so in this case here, you must have 3 firewalls. So the 3 firewalls, it means, so in the load balancer here, so in these 3 servers here, so each server is going to be will have a firewall, its own firewall. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's just go through it because of time. I don't want this video to be too long. And then it's saying HTTPS. So in the main firewall, so where the load balancer is, where this load balancer is, we're going to implement a HTTPS and a firewall in this one setup here, where the load balancer it, and then distribute it among the 3 servers. And then 3 monitoring, I think that's it only. You must be able to explain now and then be able to explain what are firewalls for. We've already explained that. Traffic served over HTTPS, we've already talked about that. Yeah, monitoring tool. Yeah, we have not talked about monitoring tool. We have not talked about what a monitoring tool is. So, and then explain what to do if you want to monitor your web server query per second. Yeah, and then you must be able to explain the issues with this infrastructure. Why terminating SSL at the load server, and then why having only one MySQL capable of accepting writes is an issue. Why having servers with all the same components might be a problem. Oh, I think that's enough for today. Yeah, so yeah, I think this last part, the only problem maybe we're going to get here with this part here. We have not talked about monitoring. We have not talked about these 3 things here. So let me just call out a name. So just say what you know in case you are okay. Ruth, just help us with what is monitoring used for. Just help us with that.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, I've not read about monitoring yet though.
Yeah, but then
So I think it's used to keep track of the sites or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know.
yeah, okay. Either way, at least you've said something. Okay, let me at least you've said something, so thank you for that. Okay, Lupamo, will you say something about monitoring?
Yeah,
Monitoring.
monitoring.
Yeah, what's okay, maybe give us an introduction. What is monitoring?
Monitoring, I think it's making sure your web application works as expected.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm not saying that's right, or maybe that's wrong, but then I'm just saying thank you. Yes, so let me hear one last person before. Okay, Clinton has said something. Was not said something. Okay, Monica. Yeah, so maybe can you help us with what monitoring is used for?
I think it's a software that's used to monitor applications to determine if there's any unusual activity and then send an alert.
Okay, I've not heard you. I think you are far away from your device. Okay. I think that's it, guys, for this task. I think you'll have to go and find out what monitoring is used for, and then how the monitoring is used to collect data. So in case you don't get it, tomorrow we'll be having, okay, we're still planning for that. Yeah, we're still planning if we'll meet so that we can finish up on the web static project. We started from task 1 to task 4, but then we didn't finish the rest. So let me first of all stop this.